Good morning and a warm welcome to the dialogue on Sol TV. We are in a Holy Week and we really congratulate everyone watching and wish them a very joyful Easter holiday. My name is Prince Apollo. It is that time when we look back at the major events of the week, and the panel is set to take you through those major events. We welcome back those who attended the Good Friday special service at Canaanland, and we hope you will reap the best out of those blessings. Richard Baguma, a veteran journalist, but also political pundit, is in the studio. We've been joined by Comrade Dr. Daniel Rugalama, a lawyer, but also a Pan-Africanist. Kennedy Mutenyu, the head of the elections committee in the Democrat Party, is also in the studio. We'll be looking at several events. What happened at the launch of the electoral roadmap for the ruling National Resistance Movement will be at the center of our discussion this morning. The NRM announced that they have 19.8 million voters on their register, and that raises questions on the numbers in registers for different political parties. It's a matter we will interrogate. But before we kick off the show, I will introduce my panel. I am always profoundly honored to have Richard Baguma on the show. Please speak to our viewers as we kick off this big debate.
As always, the Almighty first. I'm very humbled that I'm still breathing and able to come here.
Sure.
I want to wish everyone a very good holiday weekend, a good Easter. I am glad to have these comrades here. Looks like it's going to be an entertaining show. The good morning to our viewers.
I didn't see you in this. Is it the celebration of the Way of the Cross or something?
I was on televisions elsewhere. So while they were casting pictures or what, I was talking about them, and I was telling people I grew up at church. My father was a church worker.
Wow.
And then later on I went to study in Israel.
Oh.
And I was looking for the cross in Israel. It was not there.
You didn't see any.
So I still talk to religious scholars. Okay. By the way, I've been telling you privately, but I think I'm very serious that I want to go and study theology. Yeah, things sometimes don't balance. Yeah, but I wish everybody happy Easter.
Comrade Rugalama, speak to our viewers.
Good morning, Comrade Apollo and my brother Baguma and our brother
Mutenyu.
Glad to meet him. I think I'm meeting him for the very first time, but I've heard of him. And our esteemed viewers, it is always a joy joining you here on this prestigious TV of ours. I'm looking forward to a fruitful and vibrant debate this morning.
Do you celebrate Easter?
Yeah, I do, and I have always stated that at the level of Christianity, or for that matter, these different religious denominations, bringing people together, creating harmony in society, and tolerating each other, I am a Christian. But deep down, when we interrogate, like Comrade Baguma was at the risk of venturing into that area. Issues to do with eschatology, I wouldn't wish to go there because indeed there are certain things which don't balance.
You should not go there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kennedy Mutenyu, always pleased to have you on the show. Speak to our viewers.
Good morning, our viewers, and good morning to my colleagues here. We are ready to share our views, and since it is Easter time,
Yeah.
I think the reason Jesus Christ was crucified and rose from the dead is very relevant to the period in Uganda now. If I only wish people can come out of this Lent season and everything renewed and ready to put Uganda first.
Sure.
That would be very good. Yeah.
You look good in green colors. And did you celebrate 45 years of DP membership?
One, thank you very much. Green and white are our colors as the Democratic Party. White meaning purity, and green is about Uganda being an agricultural country.
Oh.
That is also we are for Uganda. 45 years, when I write, I say on 1st August 2025, I'll make 45 years since I first got my DP membership card, which was on 1st August 1980, bought at 20 shillings and signed by Dr. Paulo Kawanga Semogere.
Wow.
So when I talk about 45 years, that means I understand the Democratic Party very well. And in the Democratic Party, I'm not a player who can transfer to another club, but I am one of the owners. So I go nowhere. So when I talk about 45 years, and you think you can come and we talk about the Democratic Party, you should know I have that experience.
Wow.
I first attended the first DP Delegates Conference in 1980 when I was almost a very young boy. I escorted my father. So I attended that one. I attended 84. I attended 2005. I attended 2010. I attended 2015. I attended 2020. And God willing, on 30th May, I'll be in Mbarara. That is another record. Not everybody has been there.
Exactly.
The
So-
one of 80 you get crushed. You are
No,
not
I was
invited.
an observer, and the observer status has no age limit. So I only participated fully as chairman of Electoral Commission in Gulu in September 2020. The rest, the one of 84, for example, I was living in Naguru Flats opposite the Chinese hospital. So, and the delegates conference was held in Lugogo Indoor Stadium. So I just walked, came, because I enjoy politics. I listened, I saw, and I said, okay.
But the Gen Z might not know that there were flats there. Are they still there?
There is only one left. The other ones were put down.
Colonial
And
flats.
the one, no, Naguru.
Naguru.
And the one where I was living on, W60, that block is still on.
Wow.
And they told lies to this country that they were giving that estate to some developer. They put down all the houses, harassed people, sent away people. Today, nothing has happened.
That the estate they were going to develop, actually, they were going to sell
Yes.
to the sitting,
No, something has
sitting
happened.
tenants.
What has happened?
We have taken over the land, we have shared it. Something has happened. It can't be that nothing has happened.
That was not the original plan.
No, that was the plan, but you
I
were not
got
told
hurt. I got hurt.
You were not privy to the actual
to
plan.
the actual plan.
But that was the plan.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Kennedy, and your loyalty to the DP really impresses me. 45 years,
Yes.
a member, and it looks like you're not planning to go on a transfer. I mean, to transfer to another.
You see, shortly, I tell people, because my background is sports and football. I'm a trained FIFA football administrator. I give example of football where people understand. So when you're in a team, if you're a player, that means at the end of the season, you can transfer, be bought by another club, and you go.
Yeah.
But when you are the owner, at the end of every season, you look
So
for new
for
players.
you and DP,
I am
you are
one
an
of the
owner.
owners.
But you reserve a right also to sell the club.
No.
Making
No. Ours is like
I was avoiding that. I was saying we have seen clubs sold.
yes.
Clubs have been sold.
When you can't manage, probably you sell. But when you look at good examples in England and where clubs are 200 years old, the cases in Uganda I belong to, which I joined very many years ago, is still there. So when
DP is not for sale.
no, it has never been for sale. It has never and
never been sold.
And we are yet to see where political parties are sold from, the shops or supermarkets. So
thank you so much, Kennedy Mutenyu, the head of the elections committee in the Democrat Party. My name is Prince Apollo. Let's kick off their dialogue this morning. And Richard Baguma, political pundit, Comrade Rugarama, a lawyer but also a Pan-Africanist, and Kennedy Mutenyu, a DP diehard. Let's look at what happened during the launch of the NRM political roadmap ahead of the 2026 general elections conducted at the party secretariat in Kampala. And the party leadership announced that they now have 19.8 million voters on register, up from 11.9 million in 2021, an increment of 70%. And this has sparked debate among several political players who are actually questioning the integrity of registers for political party membership across the board. And another report which which came through the Daily Monitor this week also shows that four major political parties in Uganda have a total voter population of 46.2 million. 46.2 million. Four major political parties have a voter population of 46.2 million, when actually the national population and housing census of 2024 showed that Uganda has 45.9 million as total population.
That
Richard
was also discredited, do you remember?
No, you know.
Let's start from there, Richard.
No.
Did you find anything wrong with these numbers?
I think what would be wrong with me and what would be shocking would be that we have correct statistics. If we had correct statistics, that would be shocking for me. Yeah. So if we have wrong statistics, or discredited statistics, that's what has been normalized. Doesn't matter the source. So that we have more voters, because I don't think when they were adding the numbers of those parties, they added Mutenyo's party.
Oh.
That was not one of the parties I think they counted. Yeah. So they are saying Mutenyo doesn't exist. That Mutenyo is not a Ugandan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a lot of effort for me to try to sanitize locally generated statistics. So it's let's continue, because see, for example, I am not registered for a party.
Yeah.
No. So I don't know if I'm one of the 45.9. And so it's you see, it's hard to try and sanitize or make sense of these statistics, and then we kind of know, except for biological or very natural reasons, we know who the next president is going to be anyway. Yeah, so there are some things that you don't want to struggle too much with.
Are you saying these figures do not matter? And
for those ones who want to steal, the thieves, they matter to the thieves. And I don't have a lot of knowledge on thievery or expertise, so I leave the thieving to the expert thieves.
Comrade Rukarama, you're a member of the National Resistance Movement.
Yes, sure.
Are you sure that NRM has 20.8 million members.
19.8.
No, those are voters, members on its register. Do you find it? I mean, do you relate it with what is on the ground?
Yeah, put into consideration the fact that actually NRM was registering from 16 years.
Yeah.
So in the year between 16 and 18, assuming, because that is the youth, and proportionately the youth are quite a higher number compared to other age groups. Assuming probably there, because I haven't gotten that exact statistic, that maybe you put them at something like 4, if you will. I don't know if they even captured the school-going children, by the way, because there was that dilemma that the people who were at school were not captured. There were complaints there. Assuming maybe they are around 4, that would slash the number to something like 16 or 15 point something.
Yeah, from 20.8.
Yes. But anyhow, I think I get your question. I would not be surprised that NRM has got such numbers. And that's not my trouble. Actually, they could as well have registered something like 25 million people. Why? Because, indeed, if you are computing from 16-year-olds going upwards, you can capture that number. But at the end of the day, for me, my biggest worry is not such numbers. My biggest worry is how come that in our NRM, we do not translate these high numbers we have on our register when it comes to voting. Remember?
Before you go there,
yes,
look at 19.8
yes,
million voters on your register, on the register of the NRM.
Yes.
Can you relate that with what is on the ground?
You know, there is duplicity. It does not necessarily mean that somebody who has registered as an NRM member and voter is not going to register in a NUP. It does. Where are the checks and balances there, Apollo? You see the problem we have.
So it is possible that
yes, we do not have even
the membership cuts across all the parties.
Even during the cleanup, we have got political opportunists, and this is what largely is defining our politics, especially in Uganda and Africa at large. Although elsewhere it also obtains. The days of my brother here, Mutenyo, the seriousness he's exuding here and the resilience that he has shown over the years is not what our generation
the loyalty
is experiencing. So I can tell you that in terms of the duplicity I'm talking about, that you have got a sizable number who are in NRM, who are in NOP, and probably in FDC, and probably, you will forgive my fertile imagination, are well over 4 million people, is not surprising. You see? So yes, I can tell you that NRM can have such numbers. But are they royal? Are they such members that have not registered elsewhere? We can't guarantee that. For me, like I said again, when you said before I go there, now I hope you allow me to go there.
Please.
That's not my problem. My problem is that, all right, even if, by the way, we brought in issues to do with duplicity, that they are here in NOP, they are in NRM, they are in FDC. Don't ask me which FDC now. And maybe they are in DP. They are trying to say that the next time they ask you for your card, you say, no, I'm a member and here is my card. You know, such issues can arise when you want to stand on such a card of NRM or something like that. Where, if assuming, for instance, NRM, we have got such numbers like, even if, by the way, you slash it and we put it at something like 13 or 12 million potential voters. Here is a situation where the presidential, which is highly popularized, And I want to believe every MP, every councillor at parliamentary and local level are always associating themselves with the president, and they are campaigning for the president. Last time, what the total number of votes cast in favor of the president, our president, was something like 5.6 or something. 5 point something. We didn't even go to 8 million people. That is very disturbing. It means that somebody, our civic empowerment of the civilians, of the people who are supposed to participate in the politics of their country, is extremely low. The voter education itself is equally low, because it's not enough for you to be proud of your register that we have got such high numbers if you cannot translate. In fact, it is even not enough for us in NRM to argue, and I think this is a challenge to my brother Richard Tadwong and my teacher of history, Tangodoi, that look, we must show the public that even if any other person refused to come and vote, we have created such an atmosphere, politically and otherwise, to entice our people in NRM on the register, numbering 19.8. Those assuming that the few didn't turn up, at least more than 12 million people turned up and they voted for our president. Why can't we do that?
But already you've said those 19.8 include NUP, include FDC and
I've said let's have even 12. I have moved from the 19.8. I have factored in that there is duplicity, others are political masqueraders, they are here and there. Let's maintain something like, it's healthy, it's normal, it's reasonable for somebody to say your register was reading something like 19.8. But at least 12 million people turned up and voted
as
for
a ruling party, if you can concede that indeed this could be not true, could be untrue, really, why would you, go and launch these false statistics and take pride in these numbers?
By the way, I'm not saying it is not true. There is a very high possibility that such a register, it is true. The register is reflecting the true picture on the ground. My problem is, how are we translating what is on the register in the actual, when we are exercising elections, when we are participating in the elections, presidential and otherwise? What is the turnout?
You get there. You have that belief that this could be true.
Absolutely. Why not? What is our population? You see, there is no reason. See,
in a country where you have a population of 45.9 cities, total population, that NRM has 20.2 million members, 10 million members. Wait a minute, 10 million. 20.2
yes,
total members on the register. 10 million for NUP, 10 million for FDC, 6 million for UPC. Already.
By the way,
you are going to be deceived by statistics. By
the way, you also have half the population below 15 and below.
Who cannot actually be members?
Who can't be on the register?
Let me tell you this. I have told you that there is a high likelihood that register, and remember the register is affected by so many things, by the way. As you register people today, you would not stop people from dying. People die. Wait a minute, I'm telling you factors.
Has just been.
It doesn't matter. Even if it has just been launched, meaning that hardly a month has passed when it was concluded. A register is affected by a number of factors.
Updated.
It's okay.
Just a few months.
Digital. I remember that digitalization. What I'm saying is still not in vain. I'm saying that a register is affected by so many factors, including that people are going to die. People are going to change affiliation. There is the element of duplicity. That members within FDC, some are members within NRM, and some are members within NUP. Remember, another factor affecting the register, who are not necessarily the voters, is that NRM was registering from 16 years upwards. Between 16 and 18, there were a number of them. I'm yet to know how many millions were registered in that age
But of
bracket.
course, you have that number of voters.
Also, therefore,
Eligible voters, 19.8.
yes, when all that is put together, there are also issues, because we are not politically naive, to imagine that there are not going to be, not all lies are bad. Yes, there are certain lies that must be told, as long as they are not going to be gravely harmful to the population.
We will get to
must,
that. You will tell us the motivation why you would lie the country that you have these numbers.
No,
when you actually don't have.
politically, even
Kennedy
the so-called democracies elsewhere, they tell some lies.
Kennedy Mutenyu, Comrade Rugarama is now defending lies, that lies can at times be related. Or when you look at these numbers, what impression do you get?
First of all, thank you very much. We are at Salt TV, one of the establishments of a religious, a born-again community.
Yeah.
And Apollo, Mr. Baguma, Mr. Rugarama, when I look at your names, they are all from Western Uganda. Because my mother was from Western Uganda, and I am from Mombale. And we are communicating. Why I brought that, we are communicating in English, which means we went to school.
Sure.
The only reason we went to school, Apollo, is to be able to know what is wrong, what is right, to understand issues. I'm a little bit coming from a political party whose motto is truth and justice. I'm a little bit disappointed that we can sit at a religiously founded television station and say some lies are good, can be told. Because when we are here...
That is the truth, actually.
That's the truth.
Yeah, we have left... Okay. We have left our children and other people at home watching us. These days at school, I hear they've got subjects, social studies or something like that. It is very easy for a young kid to say, I was watching the dialogue and I was told you can lie. Now, I come to this second point. We are Ugandans.
Sure.
Our motto is for God and my country. I don't know whether God promotes lies. Our motto, our first stanza, our national anthem. O Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hands. Something like that. This country needs prayers. Especially today, when tomorrow we are celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. I believe our Muslim friends have just come out of Ramadan to renew themselves. When you look at that table that came out in the monitor, they said, you see, the NRM is what was declared as the ruling government. Number 2, National Unity Platform.
Yeah.
That means administratively, probably the two are the most
prominent political parties.
Most with the highest level of responsibility to govern this country. NRM claims to have 20.2 million
members.
NUP is talking of 10 million.
Yep. FDC
10 million.
UPC 6
Uganda
million.
People's Congress, 6 million. Like you rightly said, and you must have seen my write-up yesterday, that is 46.2.
Yep.
That means after what UBOS declared as 45.9, there must be a spare country called Uganda, where they got another, these three parties got another 300,000 people, because the total number, I was not very good at mathematics, but this is basic.
It surpasses the
About,
population.
so it is above the population. The president of my party, Norbert Mao, normally says, okay, you can tell a lie, but don't accept to lie to yourself.
Are they lying to themselves?
I am coming to that point because we are questioning this. Is it authentic? With that background, the other day, Justice Byabakama was at Parliament, and only last year we are talking of 45.9. That's the UBOS figure released after census.
Yeah.
We are told the Electoral Commission is putting together electoral materials basing on the 2014
Statistics.
That means even what the Electoral Commission is going to use is already wrong.
Yeah.
You get? I was deeply involved in the by-election in Kawempe North. The NRM told us that they had 200,000 people, members. No, register. This time it was not members.
Voters.
Register for voters for Kawempe North. The Electoral Commission had 199,064
On their register.
on their register. Then, at the end of elections, to the point Mr. Rugarama was talking about, first of all, we were told, because I believe these figures were just given. I was present in the Tally Center when Mr. Makabai, the returning officer, was reading what they called the returns. And Farida Nambi of NRM was given about, not polling, and I'm picking my words carefully, was given about 8,500 votes. And we were told results from 15 polling stations had been cancelled. Therefore, they were reading. They did not even say we are still verifying. They said this is the final tally. Okay?
Minus 15. Polling
Minus 15 polling stations. In other words, we were not expecting anything else. When the Electoral Commission spent, and this could explain why they delayed, they spent, when they finally gazetted the results, in order for the declared winner to swear in, Nambi had moved from 8,500 to 9,000.
There were additional votes.
Where did the additional votes come from? So,
Related to what?
I'm relating it to this one. I am saying when I wrote my piece, I said the politics of numbers versus integrity. You cannot have a credible election with such mess.
With wrong statistics.
You cannot. You cannot.
Cooked
So,
figures.
you don't even have to say that the problem is if I have 20.2, actually, according to this register, where they've gone beyond the total population of Uganda, it does not even talk about the 16-year-olds. That means even those who were born yesterday,
below 16, they are
those
not
even
accounted
who are
for.
days old, are part of that 20, are part of the 46.2.
Yeah.
That means everybody has been registered in these things. My Secretary General, Dr. Siranda, said, I think it was at one of the TV stations on Thursday, he said, and it is a fact, that today people, and I think Mr. Rogaraman talked about it, there is no mechanism to say if you're registered for the other party and you attempt to register for this one, the system will block you. So there are people who are registered everywhere. I'm old enough to remember that during the Obote II government, most of the civil servants, whether they belong to UPC or not, had to have UPC membership cards as job security, part of the job security mechanism. I went to a certain ministry. As I waited to see the official I was supposed to see, I had a chat with one of the guys seated there. Jokingly, I said, like, I would come here and say, guys, can I give you membership cards of DP? But then the guy asked, but isn't it criminal? I said, no. So he said, you know, we are here, whether I like it or not. He was a civil servant. I must have an NRM membership card. But you can also bring me the DP one, I'll keep it.
Oh.
So even if
that may be the case.
No, it is part of the case. But you cannot explain an excess. Uganda has 45.9 million people, and you have only 3 parties, because according to the monitor, DP is still registering, which is a fact. Mugisha Muntu ANT is still registering, and I think there were other parties. So only NRM, NUP, FDC, and UPC have
5.9.
Have 300,000 members, more than the total population of this country. It is simply unbelievable. That's why I said this country, tell your boss, Pastor Bujingo, we need to pray for this country.
We need to pray. Richard, what is the implication now, living in a country where figures, and statistics are just for formality in books and on paper, and we take pride in having numbers, and we even have a statistical body, UBOS in charge of statistics. We have people who actually paid in these political formations and other entities in charge of manning those registers.
I don't even know why we worry about this. I don't know. I mean, if you come and tell me that there is a lake in the compound of Salt TV, then the lake is not there.
Yeah, but Richard, listen to this.
Why am I so worried?
Listen to this. People are saying this is one of the source of the conflicts we are seeing during elections. That because NRM knows that it has 20.2 members, 19.8 million voters, and like it happened in Kawempe, they lose, then that will be a source of conflict. They'll be saying, we had the people, we had our voters, and as we head into the 2026 elections, people are bothered that possibly this could be a source of conflict. And in any way, others, especially in the opposition, are saying NRM is cooking up these numbers to rig the elections.
But who is not cooking up?
I think it's not about NRM only.
Who is not cooking up the numbers?
It is all these 4 that I've declared.
I'm showing you where this should be a concern.
No, you see, Apollo, I'm not asking these questions that you reply. No, you see, we have a very discerning viewership. That's why I ask these questions. I don't expect that the people will attempt to respond, but I'm getting people to think about these things. So who is not cooking up the numbers? So if the game is about going to the kitchen for numbers, then everybody starts playing the game. start playing along the game. So imagine Mutenyo's party, the pressure they have. If indeed they keep to truth
And justice.
and register people truthfully, they will come with very dismal numbers. So already they discourage their potential new members. They say, but why are we joining a losing thing? So you have those psychological things. But for my brothers and sisters who manage things in this country, I'm not even sure that they really is about that. I think it's about procurements too.
Come again?
I think it's about procurements too. You see, when you say, I expect at my wedding to have 1,000 guests,
The budget will be
absolutely
huge.
Then you create a pressure on Rugarama and Mutenyo to give you, instead of giving you 100,000, they start thinking they should give you a little bit more. Otherwise, the party is going to fail. So I think it's also a clever way of procurement.
And information, Comrade Inka, one of the qualities of a good budget is that you have got to overestimate, such that you fall within what you actually you should want. You want
But I think also, I think like
not over,
but that is different.
Extremely over. Just be within.
This is extremely
No,
over.
what he was putting forward is a selfish motive,
Which cuts across political parties.
expecting an economic benefit from
so,
out of these numbers, huge exorbitant numbers,
so that's
or exaggerated figures.
you see, if you declare in a constituency that you as a single entity, there are others who are competing with you, you have more supporters, more voter register than the electoral commission has. So what are you doing?
Actually, that's another.
What are you doing? And this has happened. Yeah. So what are you doing? So the one thing, of course, that I think people do is to collect party cards. You know, you go collect a party card here, collect a party card. All of you go. So in case Mutenyo comes with a T-shirt, you will take it. Rugarama comes with a banana, you will take it. And the red person comes with sugar, you will take it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the motivation.
I mean, that could be one of the things. So you are preparing for the goodies that will fall your way. After all, the extreme monetization of politics, and particularly the elections, means that, and the transactional nature, means that people are waiting for what will drop into their hands during the campaign period, and that's it. They don't expect any more. So you prepare to receive whatever you could receive from each one. And so indeed, it cannot translate into voting. You see, Apollo, you look at the percentages over the elections of the voter turnout vis-a-vis the voter register.
That's what I was talking about.
The disparities are huge.
Are huge. You see, because I tell you, I vote from Barara. So sometimes I will be wondering why I am going to vote when I know who my president is going to be next. Yeah, because I know. So all these factors need to be looked at. So the accuracy or lack thereof of a voter register of any party should, in my view, not be such a headache for us.
You don't
It
find
will not change things on the ground at all.
But you don't find any implication. These inappropriate and vague figures.
No, lies.
Lies. Have to our politics, our and national movement. Don't you find it?
This for the parties, I have no problem. The thieving guys will go and claim to have bought 20 million T-shirts, but they will indeed have bought 10. They take the balance and go to either take their families to I don't know wherever. That's why I said it is a thieving. It is a thieving group. The lying group, to look big, they will also be deflated at the ballot box because the elections
the numbers will not.
Anyway, So where you worry is where the lies are from the statistics body.
You boss.
And then they are
national,
affecting national development planning and implementation and programming. That is where you really worry.
Comrade Rugarama, let me get your opinion on what you think could be the implications of having wrong statistical figures in registers of political parties.
Thank you so much. Now, very quickly, one, just before I forget, I had issues and I remember I said it on UBC. I don't still remember if I came here to your show, Apollo, and mentioned my dissatisfaction with the statistics that had been released by Dr. Muchiza. And with all due respect, Dr. Muchiza is a highly qualified man in the area of statistics. Uganda is blessed with, although I have issues with our own education system here in Uganda, like it is on the African continent, but even with this wrong education system, we have produced quality people that they have gone elsewhere, be it in terms of work or higher education, and they have performed exceptionally well. But it is very disturbing that you could have figures from the Uganda National Bureau of Statistics when we last carried out the census. And the figures were very disturbing. Almost every corner of the Ugandan community was complaining about the outcomes of the exercise. And some even saying that they were never counted in the first place. So, and that affects so many things, like what my senior brother Waguma here was saying, that the planning is greatly affected. Where they went back and tried to put a few things together, but I don't think up to now the Ugandan of average understanding is satisfied that what we got from the Uganda National Bureau of Statistics and the outcome of the census is something that can make us comfortable that we are planning against a correct statistic. That having said that, I want also to mention that as far as NRM, and I don't claim to be the spokesperson of the party, but as a member and a great contributor ideologically, I want to say that it would be expecting too much if we expected any better than we got in Kawempe North. And I don't know where those who are saying, there is a colleague of mine, they are the ones who have gone to court on behalf of this lady, Farida Nambi. Is a colleague of mine, Ahmed, is the one I think they did counsel there. I was asking him as to why really. But anyhow, they have gone.
Because you had 200,000 voters on the register for Kawempe, and the candidate got less than 9,000.
But you see, I'm coming. That's why I was like, you see, it is always an error. For us who are a little bit experienced and seasoned in the area of elections, for you to expect that what you have on your register is necessarily the number that is going to turn up on the voting day, because it is usually not the case to start with. To imagine that the numbers you have on your register are actually the numbers, because the NRM registers are not necessarily the Electoral Commission registers anyway. Because I have had people also make those errors. No, NRM could have their own register saying something which is not necessarily the same as what Electoral Commission is having. And that is why you have found that in majority of the cases, we have got candidates who are declared by Electoral Commission and they were having issues with NRM, FDC, and what have you. So those discrepancies will always come in.
Yeah, but it becomes tricky, and when a party says or claims that it has, for instance, 200,000 members in a constituency, when the Electoral Commission, National Electoral Commission register shows that the voters in that area are actually less than 150.
There is such a thing in English as bad manners. And we are not going to beat everybody who has got bad manners. And although we know society constructs what is the norm, there will always be people within that very society who go against the norm.
So in NRM,
we know it is bad manners to tell a lie. But the entire world, and I'm not saying because the entire world, including those we think are actually morally upright, or those who claim to be morally upright, tell lies, therefore it's good to tell a lie.
it-
Wait a minute, Mr. Apuro. And that's why I want to state very clearly so that the audience gets me proper. When we indeed appear here on Salt TV, it's not that we are talking to the P6 senior 2. No, this is dialogue. We are at the level of communicating to a certain audience who absorb such high intellect conversation.
Sure.
And I'm telling the audience that, for instance, America, which claims to be having higher democratic credentials, is a country that tells lies. It tells lies in economics. It tells lies in the media. It tells, because the other time they were arguing, for instance, in the case of Assange, they lied. In economics, lies. In politics, lies. In elections, lies. But I'm not saying because they do, therefore we should also copy such bad manners and tell lies. No. All I'm saying is that sometimes to run a society, to govern a society, there has got to be, you don't go according, with all due respect, with all our credentials in Christianity. May Christianity continue thriving like any other religious affiliations, but I can assure you that politically running a society,
You have to tell lies at
there
one
are elements where you may not necessarily tell the truth, and whether that is translated to telling lies, I don't know. May I have told you,
Okay.
society is run not entirely on the biblical principles.
We're going for a break, and when we return, Kennedy Mutenyi will be responding.
Society cannot
Comrade
be
Rugarama
run on biblical principles.
and
It would
Baguma
crash.
They're making a case
It would crash.
that in politics,
Not just in
lies-
politics, in society.
All
You
right.
can't run society on biblical principles. It will crash. The biblical times ended now.
We go for a break. When we return, the dialogue will
So where's the
delve
Quran
deep
now?
into the question of integrity, especially in numbers portrayed to be members or the membership of political parties. Let's go for a break. Return after this short while.